Eala, wherever she plays, the crowds are huge. So I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in her opening match at Wimbledon this year.
On July 1st, 2025, on Court 14 at the All England Club, a 20-year-old Filipino wildcard, Alex Eala, stunned spectators by taking the opening set against former Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova.
Alex Eala, she's come through and she's beaten Rybakina, she's beaten Svitolina, she's beaten Donna Vekic, the Queen's Club champion. I tell you what, that was some week for Eala.
She would go on to lose the next two sets, 6-2 and 6-1. As she walked off the grass that day, Alex Eala was ranked outside the world's top 50, just one of 128 women in the Wimbledon draw, and far from the list of seeded contenders. Fast forward to June 22, 2026. Nearly 1 year later, the WTA publishes its latest singles rankings based on results through Sunday night. This time, the story is very different.
Alex could just beat the world number 2.
Alex Eala had climbed from world number 35 to world number 30. And because Wimbledon uses that exact Monday ranking as the cutoff for its seeds, and reserves those coveted spots for the top 32 players in the world, the significance was enormous. Just 12 months after leaving an outside court as an unseeded hopeful, the Filipino star had made history. For the first time ever, a player from the Philippines would enter a Grand Slam tournament as a seeded competitor. What seemed unimaginable a year earlier had become reality. Alex Eala was no longer a rising prospect. She was now one of the 32 players every opponent hoped to avoid in the draw.
A girl from a smaller city can compete against the best in the world.
Same tournament. Same grass courts. Same dream. But this time, everything feels different. To understand why this Wimbledon story matters so much, you have to start with what looked like a disappointment. Just 2 days before the official seedings were announced, Alex Eala walked off the court after a loss. She had been defeated by Linda Noskova in the Berlin Open semifinals. On paper, it looked like the end of a strong week. But in reality, it was the final step toward one of the biggest achievements in Philippine tennis history. Tennis rankings do not care about headlines. They do not care about emotions. They are built from months of results, countless matches, and points collected around the world. Every victory matters. Every tournament matters. And when Wimbledon prepared its seedings, the ranking list used was the official WTA ranking released on June 22. That ranking revealed something extraordinary. Alex Eala had climbed from world number 35 to world number 30. The jump placed her safely inside the top 32 players in the world, the group that receives Wimbledon seeding protection. When the provisional list was released, Eala appeared as the number 29 seed after a withdrawal higher up the rankings. For most tennis fans, that may sound like a small detail. It is not. Being seeded at a Grand Slam completely changes the experience. It means avoiding the highest-ranked players in the opening rounds. It means entering the tournament with official recognition as one of the sport's elite competitors. And for Eala, it meant becoming the first Filipino player ever to earn a Grand Slam singles seed. Think about that for a moment. The Philippines has produced talented athletes in many sports. Boxing legends, basketball stars, international champions. But tennis is different. Tennis is global. It is expensive. It is brutally competitive. Breaking into the top 100 is already difficult. Reaching the top 50 is rare. Becoming one of the top 32 players in the world is something entirely different. Yet that is exactly where Alex Eala now finds herself. What makes the story even more remarkable is how quickly the narrative changed. Just days earlier, many people were focused on her semi-final loss to Noskova. It was her second defeat against the Czech star in 2026. Earlier in the season, Noskova had dominated their meeting at Indian Wells. And before this grass-court swing, Eala's record against Czech opponents had become an uncomfortable talking point among tennis followers. Statistics can be dangerous. The longer they exist, the more they begin to feel permanent. For months, every loss to a Czech player seemed to reinforce the same story. Every defeat added another layer to a growing narrative. Commentators mentioned it. Fans discussed it. The numbers became part of the conversation surrounding Eala's development. But great athletes eventually reach a point where old narratives stop mattering. That moment arrived during the grass court season. Coming into June, few people expected grass to become Eala's strongest surface. She developed her game through the Rafa Nadal Academy, an environment traditionally associated with clay and hard courts. Grass demands different movement, different timing, and different tactics. Many players require years to adapt. Eala adapted almost immediately. Her confidence grew with every match. Her movement became smoother. Her serve became more effective. Her aggressive baseline game suddenly looked perfectly suited to the faster conditions. The breakthrough came in Birmingham. Competing in a WTA 125 event, Eala captured her second career title. It was her first professional title on grass. The victory was important for many reasons, but perhaps the biggest was psychological. It proved she could win on a surface where many people expected her to struggle. Champions often need a moment that changes their belief. Birmingham felt like that moment. Instead of treating grass season as preparation, Eala started treating it as opportunity. And then came Berlin. Berlin was not supposed to be the tournament that changed everything. It was a WTA 500 event packed with elite players. The draw was loaded with Grand Slam champions, top 10 stars, and experienced veterans. Eala entered as a wild card. Expectations were modest. Most observers simply hoped she would gain experience against higher-ranked opponents. What happened next shocked the tennis world. In the opening rounds, she displayed a level of confidence that immediately caught attention. Her shot-making was fearless. Her movement was sharp. Most importantly, she looked completely comfortable competing against players ranked far above her. Then came the match that made headlines everywhere. Elena Rybakina, a Wimbledon champion. One of the most dangerous players in women's tennis. Many expected Rybakina's power to overwhelm Eala. Instead, the young Filipino stayed composed under pressure. She absorbed pace, created angles, and produced one of the biggest victories of her career. The win sent a message. Alex Eala was no longer just a promising prospect. She was becoming a legitimate threat. And she wasn't finished. A few days later, she faced Alina Svitolina, another accomplished star with years of experience at the highest level. Once again, Eala delivered. Another upset. Another statement. Another reminder that her rise was accelerating faster than almost anyone predicted. Back-to-back victories over top 10 opponents transformed her Berlin campaign from impressive to historic. Suddenly, people were no longer asking whether she belonged. They were asking how far she could go. The semi-final against Linda Noskova eventually ended the run. The scoreline favored the Czech player. The dream of reaching the final was over. But the points remained. That is the crucial detail many casual fans missed. Those ranking points earned by reaching the semi-final were enough to push Eala past several established stars in the rankings. Players with bigger resumes. Players with Grand Slam experience. Players who had spent years near the top of the sport. By Monday morning, the rankings told the story. Alex Eala was officially inside the top 30. And with that ranking came history. The loss in Berlin did not prevent the milestone. It created it. Without reaching that semi-final, the ranking points would not have been enough. Without those victories over Rybakina and Svitolina, there would have been no jump into the top 30. In other words, the match she lost helped secure the achievement she had dreamed about for years. Sometimes success arrives in unexpected ways.